Moon Mondays, here we are in the Taurus new moon vibes right now. We're in the dark of the moon. The moon met exactly with the sun just hours ago. So we're in that time of stillness and reflection before we can start to see the new waxing crescent moon. Also, Venus and the moon met just before the new moon, right? So the little crescent, the waning crescent moon came and met with Venus right before the new moon meeting with the sun yesterday, last night, essentially. And Venus has now passed through the crown chakra gate. So, what are your intentions for this earthy Taurus new moon month? And also for what you're releasing, right? That blocks or distorts your crown chakra and how you embody the divine in your feminine expression. I'm Sheridan, your astro life coach, here with woman-centered insights to help you align with the cosmic cycles to create a life of clarity and purpose. All right, so the exact Taurus new moon was just hours ago, so we are there, right? It is the new moon right now. And Taurus is all about embodiment, which is why it's so related to Venus, the divine feminine, because the divine feminine is that place of embodiment, right? Where we come down into the body to experience the world in our earthly form, right? So Taurus is all about the senses, what we experience in the body. What do we smell and taste and see and hear and feel, right? The embodiment, right? What's alive for you in your body right now, right? What are you experiencing? So this new moon is an opportunity for us to, one, ground into this Taurus earth energy, but also set intentions and goals that are related to embodiment, right? So for me, I always say the earth saved me because after having like intense trauma, I moved here to Aspen, Colorado at a young age and lived right on the mountain. And I would just go exploring. And that is really the place where I could feel safe again. I could come back to being in my body. I could feel and ground and connect into the earth. And that is what helped me start reconnecting to myself after like completely disassociating after, you know, my dad was molesting me, right? So that's what changed and shifted things for me so that being on the earth is what made it be okay and be safe to like revisit connecting into my body again. So Taurus gives us the opportunity, this Taurus new moon, of like, how do we want to be stepping more into our divine feminine? How do we want to be embodying and connecting in and dropping into our bodies once again? So this is a perfect pairing with Venus at this crown chakra, right? So Venus and Taurus are associated with each other. Traditional astrology will say that Venus is like the ruler of Taurus, but I don't use those terms. So here we have Venus at the crown chakra. So Venus, the divine feminine, all about embodiment as well. And at the crown chakra, right? What is blocking or distorting or preventing us from bringing that divine energy of the goddess spirit, our soul into the body, right? Because we are in the body. And so this conjunction of Venus and the moon meeting, moving through this crown chakra gate in the Venus cycle story, was in Pisces, which is all about healing. So here we have this huge opportunity to heal what is preventing that. Heal one thing, right? We're not going to like fix everything this one crown chakra month or this one Taurus new moon month, but like what is one thing that you could focus on that helps you get into your body and feel more safe in your body and feel more connected to your body and enjoyable and pleasurable, because that's what Taurus is really all about, like what feels good in the body. So what blocks are there to you embodying your divinity? This is things that you could set your intentions around this new moon and the Venus cycle, with Venus meeting with the moon entering through this crown chakra gate. Also on Wednesday, Venus re-enters Aries. So Venus was in Aries, went retrograde back into Pisces, went direct, and then now is coming back into Aries once again. So there's more of this activation of like Venus moving across that equinox point. So when the sun entered Aries, that's considered the equinox point, this point of balance. Venus is crossing across that point as well for the third time now on, yeah, one or the second. No, third, because she went into Aries, back. I had to think about that for a second. For the third time, Venus is crossing that. So that whole Aries Pisces thing that's so important for this year, 2025, and the next year is activated again right now with Venus making this move. So this place of Aries, where does my individual strength and power connect into the collective, right? Where does healing myself, Pisces, help me step into my power? So there's just a lot of alignments and energies this week to support that kind of exploration. We also have the Celtic cross quarter this week as well. So or at least like the popular time. So I like to think of the Northern Hemisphere that it is Beltane, right? That's where the Celtics lived in the Celts lived was in the Northern Hemisphere. So it's Beltane, it's the midpoint of spring. But if you're in the Southern Hemisphere, it's not really a Beltane kind of an energy. So I go with it's Samhain, right? That cross quarter point that's in fall. So it's the popular time for Beltane, or in my interpretation, Samhain in the Southern Hemisphere is on Thursday, May 1st. But in reality, the cross quarter is when the sun reaches 15 degrees of Taurus. If you're looking at those cross quarters through that lens of the sun, you can also look at it as the full moon that's closest to that time as well, so that it becomes more of a feminine focused cross quarter time. But the sun reaches 15 degrees of Taurus on May 5th, when it's really at that halfway point between the March equinox and the June solstice. So we're at that fixed Taurus sign, fixed into the season place, happening this week and into next week as well. So we're like halfway through the season on our way to the next season at the June solstice. And then I'll just say also, Pluto goes retrograde this week. So Pluto was in Capricorn, moved into Aquarius for a while now, is going retrograde back into Capricorn before it stations direct, and then moves back into Aquarius permanently. So we have this Pluto, that planet that is always trying to help us become more empowered through pointing out and letting us see where we are draining our power into our shadow and the things that we don't want to deal with. Pluto's always giving us that opportunity to compost and bring the shadow into the light so we can reclaim more of our energy and our power. And Pluto going retrograde from Aquarius back to Capricorn gives us another opportunity to look at that shadow side of Capricorn, that inner wisdom, that inner sage, the inner crone, the place where we don't trust that, or we don't lean into that, or we have like this weird patriarchal mindset that like old women are lame or some kind of crap like that, right? But there's an opportunity with this Pluto retrograde. It's moving slower to like lean into, where do I not trust my own inner wisdom, inner guidance, that Capricorn kind of energy. So that's happening this week as well, which we can add into all of the things I've just said. And then lastly, I'll just share astro aromatherapy for this week, I think is great. Cedarwood Himalayan. I think I've got some right here. It's one of my favorites. Oh my gosh, this is like such a divine smelling, super tall tree that really helps us to get more embodied, right? It's perfect for Taurus. It's perfect for the crown chakra with Venus, all of these components that's really helping us just ground, stand in our Aries power. It smells divine, which Taurus loves. And so Cedarwood Himalayan is the one I'm throwing out there for this week with all the energy that's going on. Next week is that true cross quarter holy day, um, when the sun will reach 15 degrees of Taurus. Mercury's going to meet with Chiron and then enter into Taurus as well. So we have a lot going on around Mercury next week. Thanks for watching, and I wish you an empowered feminine week.